Why do you think it's taken so long to have that renaissance that you're talking about for Wonder Woman when so many of those comic book heroes have had their time in the sun a long time ago?
Just sexism, like just plain and simple. There's no other good explanation.
On the part of the industry or the audiences?
On the industry, I think, really. Part of why I started writing this movie is I was so frustrated that there hadn't been a Wonder Woman movie in 75 years. And there'd been multiple reboots of Superman and multiple reboots of Batman. And I was like, how many more times do we need to see Bruce Wayne's parents like shot in an alley? Like, we've seen that story over and over and over again.
Who's Charles Moulton?
That is my pseudonym.
Why don't you write Wonder Woman under your real name? Because most Americans have a low opinion of comic book writers? Or is it something else?
I've always been a Wonder Woman fan. So ever since I was a kid, I think I had a lunchbox when I was a kid and I started collecting things. And I'd finished directed my first feature, and one of the actresses in the film gave me a wrap gift, which was the history of Wonder Woman, which I read. And there was this one chapter in there on the Marston family, and the whole thing just blew my mind. It was an incredible story. And what I think struck me the most is there was this really beautiful love story at the center of who Wonder Woman would eventually come to be. So I got really obsessed with kind of telling the story of the Marston family and the relationship with Olive Byrne.
A person is most happy when they are submissive to a loving authority. I want to study her.
She'll break your heart.
You don't be jealous?
I'm your wife, not your jailer.
I think you long for an unconventional life.
Maybe I just want her because you do. You think it's possible to love two people at the same time?
Why not? What is normal?
Dr. William Moulton Marston, who's played by Luke Evans in the film, he was responsible for inventing the lie detector test. And so I started kind of tracking all these Easter eggs between the Wonder Woman comic book and Marston's life. So, for instance, the lie detector test turned into Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. So if she puts a lasso around you, you're forced to tell the truth. And I thought I was like, oh my gosh, there's all these parallels. And in the story, Dr. Marston and his wife, Elizabeth Marston, are both psychologists who work at Radcliffe in the late 1920s. And they're researching how to make the lie detector test. And one of their students comes to work for them named Olive Byrne. And the three of them all they invent the lie detector test, but they also fall in love with each other. And they end up having a family together and living their lives together. So the film kind of explores their love story and how they come together and what obstacles they face and how a lot of what they went through and the theories that Marston explored as a psychologist ended up in the pages of the Wonder Woman comic.
So what kind of conversations were you having with your three actors to sort of make them feel at ease about that kind of relationship and depicting it? Were they nervous at all?
I think it was really fascinating because the actors were so amazing and so committed to telling this story. And a lot of people remark on the amazing chemistry that they have between them in the film. But then we had about 25 days to shoot the film and no rehearsals. So they came together, but they just sparked when they met each other. So the process of me making the film was like me watching them fall in love with each other. It was really important to me to kind of explore, I call it consent as foreplay, kind of examining all of the micro beats of the emotional leaps that they are taking with each other, so that it's important to me that the women be in charge of the dynamics and that you followed all of their decision making and all of the consent, which I ended up being a really sexy part of the movie.
The world can't stop us.
Is this what you really want?
Dr. Marston, every issue of Wonder Woman is filled with violence, torture, and sadomasochism. This abnormal behavior in your comic is reckless.
I have a strategy for directing love scenes where I play really super loud music over the whole scene. Usually it's silent and everybody is nervous, and the boom guys, like, standing over them, and the actors are really self-conscious, and it's the least sexy thing in the world. So I let the actors choose songs and play them really loud over while they're doing the sex scene, and it puts them at ease. And there's one point in the movie where you see, like, they were so nervous to kind of do the scene, and they're like, okay, we're gonna get ready for the big love scene. And I put on Marvin's Gaye's Let's Get It On, and they all busted out laughing. So when they're laughing in the movie at the top of the sex scene, that's why they're laughing. Marston wrote a book called The Emotions of Normal People, and the first line of it is, "Are you normal?" So part of his assertion is, maybe I'm normal and you're not. So to kind of use this very kind of tried and true filmmaking process of the kind of prestige biopic to tell their story, I thought was a great way to approach telling this story.
Well, the comic book community is obviously a very passionate
Yes.
community. To what extent did you sort of have them in the back of your head when you were making the film, or because as you say, you're making quite a radical film? So I wondered, were they in your head while you were filming it?
Yeah, definitely, because I consider myself a Wonder Woman fan, and it was really, really important to me that I not only kind of respect the character of Wonder Woman when approaching this story, but also the fandoms of all the people who love her. And I really wanted to kind of do right by them while not shying away from the sexuality in the story. I really wanted to present it in a non-exploitative and non-gratuitous way, in a way that I felt was in line with how I felt like the Wonder Woman character was. So I always had them kind of in the back of my mind and thought about them. And then the minute, as we were nearing finishing post on the film, I was like, we have to go to Comic-Con. We have to go to San Diego Comic-Con. We have to go to New York Comic-Con. And I really wanted to, first and foremost, bring the trailer to the comic book fans, because I feel like they're the base. They're the base who have kept Wonder Woman going this whole time and will continue.